K.Ho with, what is this series called again? Oh yes, it's K.Ho with Drive About San Francisco. So we are headed over from the Mission to Bernal Heights. At least parts of Bernal Heights, the southern half of Bernal Heights. Anyway, it's K.Ho, that's me. I work at Vanguard Properties, and my partner Jonathan McNary, who also works with Vanguard Properties, got me this GoPro camera for Christmas, and this is the result. Ongoing driving tours of San Francisco with yours truly. At least it's San Francisco in HD, is what I have to say. One landmark over here, Mitchell's Ice Cream, one of the best in the cities, best in the city ice cream. Some other good ones are, oh gosh, what's the place over in Hayes Valley, the one with the frozen ice cream? Jeez, I cannot, pardon me, think of it. Anyway, sorry. So we're actually in the Mission District, sort of the San Jose Mission District area. We're actually going on to Mission Street, and we're going to go to Bernal Heights, which was named the #1 neighborhood, or at least been named the #1 neighborhood by Redfin. The neighborhood is, I guess, divided into 3 or 4 parts if you really think about it. The first part being the north slope, which is to our left, and that is bounded by Cesar Chavez and goes up to Bernal Hill, which it has Folsom wrapping around it, and it's really, really pretty. The other part of Bernal is it? No, it's not here. Sorry, the other part of Bernal is the south slope, which goes from the slope to about Cortland Street, which is the main drag of Bernal, which we'll go see in just a little bit. And then the southern half of Bernal Heights is anything from Cortland down to the freeway, but that arguably is divided into a couple of zones as well, because you have the part of Bernal that's St. Mary's, near College of St. Mary's as well, and you also have this part of Bernal to our left, which is sort of the Virginia side, sort of the western slope of it. But anyway, the reason why Bernal is I think one of the more interesting neighborhoods in the city is that it's more diverse architecturally. The fact that I could tell you that there are 4 different little sections is telling in itself. Is also very popular because we are close to both 101 and 280. It's in the southern part of the city, so the climate is a bit better. Traditionally, the neighborhood was more working class, but recently that's changed. There's a large LGBT population in the area, and as I intimated in one of our previous videos about the Castro, the population here skews towards the L of the LGBT moniker or descriptor, but of course that doesn't mean any endorsement or any sort of fair or unfair housing practice. We're just being observational. So with that being said, it means that we have lots of great homes that have been restored, great homes that are yet to be restored, and lots of families with kids, young kids, and lots of older folks who've been here for a very long time. So you've got that big mix of people. Like I said, Cortland, if we ever get onto it, is the main sort of drag for the neighborhood. It stretches from here and goes all the way to Bayshore. Now, I'll tell you, when I first started doing real estate, gosh, 5 years ago, well, we're gonna hear more of this story, right? When I started doing real estate 5 years ago, Cortland was great, and then going to Bayshore, I was always a little nervous. I'm like, geez, what's happening there? Now I know it because I know the city very well, and I've been on to Bayshore a lot. A lot of the remodeling sort of supply stores, Floorcraft is there, Lowe's is there, cabinet makers, stone counter makers, appliance. I mean, everything you can find is there. So that has definitely changed that feeling, but it's also not just because of familiarity, but also because the district in that area is changing just as the rest of the city is changing as well. The interesting things about Bernal Heights, apart from the demographics that we said, is that the architecture is indeed different. It is more improvised, in that a lot of times the earthquake cottages were here. So after the great earthquake, 1906, the people had, their houses were burned. That's what caused the destruction, not necessarily the earthquake, but the fire that ensued with the gas lines. So the people set up earthquake shacks here, and they lived here, and some of those shacks survived, but also the people who were rebuilding the city lived here as well. So you'll see a lot of people actually took their work home, and you really will see very interesting stairs and architectural hybrids, and a bit of kind of a little Wild West out here. So that's interesting too. But yes, the main drag is Cortland, and we're just headed here now. We've passed Bocana and Elsie Streets. Holly Park, this is a great park, is over to our right. It's a nice big circle, and it's very popular too. Cute, charming neighborhood, as you can see. The views here tend to be of the eastern half of the city, Hunters Point Bayview, also in and of itself, but on the north slope you get the Mission and you get the San Francisco skyline. I think due to that fact, and due to the fact that you are much closer to the BART and that part of the city, is why that would be more expensive. But this part of the city, this part of Bernal, is also quite charming in that you have so many different houses, you have different just art styles and architecture. In fact, let's take a look over here. We're going one of the ways here, Anderson. You'll see the streets are a little more narrow, but they're cute. They're yeah. So anyway, you'll notice here, for example, this is a perfect example. On our right, you have an older house with asbestos siding, shielding, and then you have this beautiful sort of Edwardian home, and then you have a beautiful home there that has been restored, and you have beautiful Victorian Queen Anne's. And take a look at this; these are just lovely, and this one's really pretty too. So you definitely have a big mix of homes, and then you have more improvised ones like this bluish purplish one here, and then you have a cute little picket fence here as well. So the interesting thing is, going down towards 280, you will have more freeway noise, and the homes have experienced, how do I say this, have experienced development at different times. The prosperity and the upgrade and the demographic trends haven't quite reached some of these units, as you can see, and it has in other cases. This home here on our left, for example, was just traded. Vanguard had the listing, and it's such a beautiful home. It was designed by the architect who did the Young Museum out in Golden Gate Park. So really special house, really just nicely done, clever, and great finishes here too. And take a look here. You have the California craft with the Victorian, with a little Edwardian, and a little sort of marina style here, and you can see the freeway down there as well. And remodeling has been going on. Like this home here at the corner at Ogden has been really nicely done, and other homes have yet to do that. So it's an interesting feel. This home we're seeing here is on Prentice, which is probably one of the last ones. There's, I think, Nevada afterwards, but you can see it's more freeway dominated, and the noise is there. The interchange between 101 and 280 is right there, so freeway noise, people be alert. Then we're going to see, take a look at these houses. These are pretty as well. So anyway, we are headed and approaching our destination. This has been K.Ho, rambling on about the Mission and the southern half of Bernal Heights. Be sure to check more out about us at kevinandjonathan.com. The great thing about the city is that there's always more to look at, and we thank you for coming with us today.